But when we get to recession, which looks increasingly likely, we're going to get to a situation where people need to look through it and say, okay, what does the new system look like? What's going to save us in the end? And within that recession watch programming, both Bitcoin and gold came up frequently. And I think this is a really important part of the discussion to understand how these two things, one is the oldest, one is the newest forms of a financial system, could save us in the end, or save our system, or create something new. But ETH will lose market share to others. And it's the whole space will go up 100x. And nobody should care what's the largest thing here. It's the whole space we're interested in. And Ethereum is a richer, deeper environment with more participants in the network. So it's going to be slightly more resilient at this point. Exactly. And that's okay. And again, people take this flippening as like, oh, well, Ethereum's now a better cryptocurrency than Bitcoin. None of us think in those terms. It's just, it's like comparing Apple and Amazon. They're just different businesses. I think Bitcoin should focus on one thing, and that should be flippening gold. If that's the narrative for Bitcoin,
that's the real flippening, right?
That's the real flippening, when Bitcoin is perceived to be a more valuable asset than gold, and that's not a million miles away.
Look, I mean, the combo, if those are your concerns, then the combo of gold and Bitcoin is actually a nice portfolio. It's actually pretty decent, and you can sit that quietly. Gold dampens the volatility somewhat. Crypto gives you upside. Super interesting. But to talk about how it's taking market share, and it is, because I'm seeing all the family offices allocate outside of gold because of it's just storing it, moving it around. It's bloody clunky and experience in the contemporary age. And like one of my clients for Global Macro Investor is a famous, very elderly, well, in age, not in mind, Italian industrialist. And I mean, he's a gold guy. He grew up having to escape the war into Switzerland, across the border from Italy, blah, blah, blah. So he's a gold guy through and through. I mean, his crypto position now for the last 2 years has been 5 times that of his gold position. I mean, I sold my gold because I had a bunch of gold. I saw what was coming, and gold was obviously the right thing to hold. And I sold my gold because I just looked at the Bitcoin gold chart and said, why do I own gold? That's not to devalue the value of gold in somebody's portfolio, but it wasn't right for me. Gold has that layer less of risk. We've got a great gold storage vault here in the Cayman Islands. It's a grade 1 storage vault, and that at least there's no liability, no loan against it, no nothing. And that's gold's great thing. That's where it shines. Because even if something goes wrong, let's say you've got 5 of these different yield plays, and one of them goes wrong for whatever reason, so your blended return ends up being 6%. It's still
exactly
huge compared to normal, right? So even with default or something going wrong risk, if you diversify, is absolutely fine. I'm sure of it. I think this is going to be one of the realizations that a lot of people have, and you're not the first person I've seen to have the same realization, which is you sell something in crypto and you go, well, I don't need to put it in my bank account. And then you realize you immediately flip it into a stable coin. Within 5 minutes, you're earning yield. And you're like, so all of that, I have to go to a middleman, I have to pay them to get access to this product, and then that, and the bank takes 3 days to clear. It's like, well, it's all nonsense. Why the hell would you even bother? And I've seen a lot of people go through this. It's like, I just paid my physical living bills using my bank account. But why bother with have your assets in a bank? I get it, makes sense. Think of it slightly differently. I think it's a new world being built at the same time. And it doesn't need to destroy the old world because we're all going to migrate there. And what we're seeing is that's what network adoption is a migration. You and I have just talked about, well, do we really need a bank account for most of our savings and investments? No. Okay, so you've now, 75% migrated. Okay, that's That's amazing, right? And you've migrated to another world that functions really well. We're still testing it, but it functions really well. So what happens is over time, people become less reliant on the old world. And this is what people miss about the central bank digital currencies. They're actually making it easier for you to migrate to the new world. And I think that's purposeful.